It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
It's week number 6. The Conduit Scorecard is out, and that's what we're normally doing this time. But we're not going to be talking with Mr. Josh Waters this morning. We will next week, but, he's tied up. We're not going to be having him on. But I'm still going to go over this scorecard because it's pretty fantastic. A lot of bills to get to, okay? So let's talk about the stuff that's good this week. That is that's a good bill that Conduit supports. Let's talk about that. We're going to start with a bill by Senator Kim Hammer. I think he's made a lot of the lists. Unemployment tax cut for employers. This is SB 298. This would, by the way, also Robin Lundstrom sponsoring this in the House. This would reduce unemployment insurance tax paid by employers. It would fund currently overfunded for benefits required, and it allows employers to keep more money for investment in their company and investment in their employees. So that is SB 298 by Senator Kim Hammer and Representative Lundstrom, and that is a good bill. And you would think this is something this is an easy bill to support because, right, it's standing up for small business. It's making it easier on the job creators. Then we're going to go to the next bill, which would be SB 198, increasing access to health care with advanced practice nurses. This is by Senator Dave Wallace and, again, Representative Robin Lundstrom. This would remove the collaborative practice agreement requirement for advanced practice registered nurses working in rural areas. It would increase access to care and decrease the cost of care to patients. Now, this is an idea it's a very uphill battle, but this is a good bill, but it's going to be an uphill battle because we've seen that these healthcare committees, they are very resistant to anything that's going to give you more choices and lower your prices. I know it's hard. It's hard to get over that because we have many people that campaign on giving people more choices and many people on more competitive pricing and that sort of thing. But right now, if you are an advanced practice nurse here in Arkansas, State Representative Dan Sullivan was talking a little bit about this yesterday on the program. You have to have a collaborative practice agreement with a doctor, and that means that you're giving that doctor money to do this. So if you're like one doctor and you've got a bunch of APNs working on with you, you're making bank. That's a nice chunk of change, right? Well, other states don't require you to have that. And so we are basically telling advanced practice nurses in the state of Arkansas, hey, you guys need to go somewhere else. Sure, get your degrees here at our fine universities, but if you if you don't want to have to check in with a doctor every 5 minutes, you can go to other states and you can actually practice without the supervision. Well, without this agreement, I don't expect for this to pass, but I think we should support the legislators who have good ideas, and who knows, maybe it will pass. You never know. Stranger things have happened. The next bill on the scorecard, week number 6, this week is HB 1321, the Homestead Property Tax Credit Increase. This is by State Representative Lanny Fight, a Republican from Benton. Also, Senator Blake Johnson, a Republican from Corning. On the Senate side, this would increase the homestead property tax credit by $25 to $375 per year. It would require the study of formula for calculating the homestead property tax credit amount and the sales and use taxes levied to fund the credit. So that's a pretty straightforward one. Right now, you get a $350 homestead tax credit. And, of course, if the county forgets if the county forgets to apply that to you, all of a sudden, a lot of you might get a phone call from your mortgage company, and the mortgage company would be like, "Hey, what's going on? Why'd your taxes go up $400 in a year?" Well, that would be why. And they forgot to put the homestead tax credit on your home. But things can, that's the beauty. Things can get worked out, so that's good. Then we're going to move down to SB 385. Oh, you don't have that one? Oh, okay, right. I'm sorry. Never mind. That's not supposed to be on there. So move on to HB 1541. Sorry. HB 1541, funding roads without raising taxes. This is an easy one. Right? This is by State Representative Julie Mayberry. This is an easy bill to support. And this has got some, great co-sponsors on there with her. It's a competing plan with the governor's highway plan. It would provide highway funding for roads without raising taxes. It requires that sales and use tax revenue from the sale of used and new vehicles, trailers and semi-trailers, would be directed for road use. Now, you would think that that's already happening, but it's not. So this is great. Hats off to State Representative Julie Mayberry for putting a plan out there, and the other legislators that have worked with her, Clint Penzo, John Payton, Josh Miller. I know I'm leaving somebody off, but I don't have the bill in front of me. The people who have co-sponsored this. Mickey Gates. This is a good idea. It's good that it's out there, that we're having the discussion of, well, here's an idea that's not going to take more money from the people. We'll take gradually existing funds for new vehicles. Why are we not already using that money for roads? Is my question. All right, so those are the support bills. We got a little time here, so let's go over some bills that are opposed this week, that have made the negative, meaning you shouldn't vote for these. It's all about, does it increase the size of government, dependency on government? Does it spend money we don't have? HB 1519, raising the legal age to 21 to buy cigarettes, e-vape, and e-cigarettes. This is by a Fort Smith Republican, Representative Lee Johnson, and Senator Missy Irvin, a Republican from Mountain View. It would raise the legal age to purchase tobacco products, vapor products, e-cigarettes, and other nicotine products to 21 years old, and it would reduce a person's personal freedom to purchase legal products. That's what we're talking about here. You can vote in this country at 18, but you can't purchase cigarettes. It's offensive, number one. Oh, well, we'll have a military exemption. Well, great. You shouldn't have the exemption at all. Because the age to buy cigarettes shouldn't be 21 years. It just shouldn't. It's ridiculous. And I'll tell you something else. You guys are doing this because the schools are pushing it, because the schools don't like their kids vaping. They don't like they have access to technology and everything else, because they're smoking too much. I get it, Kids are going to smoke. Kids smoked when I was in high school, right? And lo and behold, there's still kids who are smoking in high school. They're figuring out new ways to do it, and it's annoying to you, right? You don't like it. Okay. Well, right now, they're not supposed to be able to buy that stuff until they're 18. From what I can tell, most high school age people, they don't turn 18 until they graduate, or the year of maybe their senior year. So they already don't have access. Oh, but they do have access. Oh, well, if we raise it to 21, they won't have access. Oh, but they will. This is a waste of time. This bill should not even be debated because it's a complete waste of time. Kids in high school are still going to smoke, whether you set the age limit at 18 or you set the age limit at 21. Kids are still going to consume tobacco products. You got to understand what you're saying here. You are attempting to stamp out smoking. Everybody knows smoking's bad for you, but people still choose to do it. You're never going to win that battle unless you just make the product completely illegal, and then guess what? People will still get the product. You are attempting to undo the consumption of a product that people have been using for thousands of years. Well, and just in terms of smoking, something that grows, this is something that has just gone on for a very long time. Now, specifically, America has a very unique relationship with tobacco dating back to the first successful settlements that came here. They were able to do it because they smuggled some tobacco seeds. So my point is I'm not sitting here telling you smoking's good, but it is part of the fabric. And we've already gone through the stage where we regulate it. We've already gone through the stage where the tobacco companies have to be honest about what their product can do, what it does with long-term use. Kids are still smoking it. Now there's a new way to do it because you've got these little electronic devices, and you want to raise it to 21. We've had that debate. That debate's over. This is a waste of time. I'm going to move on now, but this stuff like this is just pain point politics, like reverse, like, oh, you want kids to continue to smoke, and it's also just like a nanny state. It's just such a nanny state thing to do, right? People know smoking's bad. They choose to do it. If you want to do anything, you should change this bill to admonish parents for not having more control over their kids, right? I can promise you, if I were caught smoking when I was in high school, the only thing that the authorities or the principal or the teachers would have had to have done is call my parents, and I would not be here today. I would be dead if that would have happened. Do you understand? Like, and the age limit has nothing to do with it, because people were smoking when they were not 18. And they're going to continue to smoke if they're not 21. Ridiculous. You contrast this stupid idea, and it is a dumb idea. You contrast this stupid idea with on the other side of things, over in Oregon, they're trying to lower the voting age to 16 because nobody's voting for Democrats anymore. Okay, so don't vote for HB 1519. Okay, and then we have the last bill today, which is SB 347. This one goes without saying. Joe, go ahead. SB 347, throw this up there. This is by Democrat Senator Will Bond, and it is a new tax on e-cigarettes. It would impose a 16% wholesale special privilege tax on e-cigarettes. The first $10 million raised from this tax would go to the newly created University of Arkansas Medical Sciences National Cancer Institute Trust Fund. So if you're against this, you're against cancer research. I can just see the straw man now. He's very menacing. This is an easy one. Why would you want to take more money from the people who are purchasing a product? Well, it's an e-cigarette, Paul. It's really bad for you. We don't know what it's going to do and everything. It's a legal product. Quit taxing people. Quit taxing people. Can we just say stop it? They love to tax things that are bad for you or that are widely perceived bad for you. And you know what? Not everybody smokes. And so if you're not a smoker, you're probably like, well, I'm not a smoker, so it's not me. Well, it's not you. It's not you this time, right? No one thought that there were going to be with Obamacare. No one ever really thought that Obama was going to tax tanning beds. Remember that? But he did because, it's bad for you. It causes cancer. Anything in this, I'm telling you, anything in this world at this point, if you say, well, it may cause cancer, well, then you can tax it. I'm surprised they haven't taxed barbecue pits because, it's a carcinogen. You're putting carcinogens on your meat, and carcinogens can cause cancer. Quit taxing us. We're taxed enough already. So anyway, those are two tobacco-related bills at the very end there, but it's basic. When you take these bills one by one, they are very, very easy to oppose or support. Again, oppose a new tax on e-cigarettes. Oppose raising the age to 21. Support funding roads without raising taxes. Support a homestead property tax credit increase. And support increasing access to health care with advanced practice nurses not having to have these collaborative practice agreements with doctors, which is pretty much kind of like you're paying for protection. Kind of a shakedown, but it is what you have to have in order to practice in Arkansas right now. And then support unemployment tax cut for employers. Very easy, based on a very simple litmus test. We're going to take a break. This scorecard going to be up at conduitnews.com, so be watching for that. Don't go anywhere, folks. Back in a moment.